Crumbl just built a $2 billion cookie brand in under 8 years. Back in 2017, it was just an idea between two family members. Jason and his younger cousin Sawyer had no idea what they were about to build. Jason grew up in Canada, but came to America in the late 90s for a mission with his church. Instantly, he loved it. His church community was bigger, the opportunities were better, and tech, the industry he was obsessed with, was exploding. So, as soon as he could, he packed up everything and moved to Utah to study at BYU. That's where he built his first real tech product, a social network just for BYU students. He even managed to secure the domain byu.com until a cease and desist shut the entire thing down overnight. But this wouldn't all be for nothing. Little did Jason know, he just made the best mistake of his life. The story behind BYU.com spread through Utah's tech community, and suddenly, startup founders wanted to hire Jason. One of these founders was Paul Allen, the owner of Ancestry.com. It was here that Jason really sharpened his skills, founding multiple internal projects and building a legit career. But the longer he stayed at Ancestry, the more frustrated he became. On paper, he had everything, a great job, good money, but he couldn't shake that feeling that he was building someone else's dream. He knew he had the skills to build something. He just didn't know what. One day, after venting to his wife for what felt like the 100th time, she suggested he talk to her cousin, Sawyer. At this point, Jason and Sawyer weren't super close. Sawyer was a young student studying marketing and advertising, dreaming of one day becoming an entrepreneur. He had some ideas, not Crumbl, but it was enough to spark a relationship between the two of them. They began meeting somewhat regularly, Jason acting almost like a mentor and Sawyer soaking up everything he could. Eventually, Sawyer would pitch a clothing brand he wanted to start. Jason didn't exactly believe the clothing brand would take off or anything, but he did believe Sawyer needed experience. So he invested anyway. For the next few months, Sawyer poured everything into it, doing absolutely everything he could to make it work, but it failed. Sawyer was crushed. He went to Jason, embarrassed, and told him he would pay back every single dollar Jason invested. He expected Jason to be disappointed, when in reality, he was really impressed. Jason sent him away, explaining that's not how an investment works, and to keep thinking of ideas. And if one of them was good, he promised him he'd invest. But months passed, Sawyer brought up idea after idea, and Jason tore each of them apart. But with every idea pitched, they were inching closer and closer to changing their lives forever. By 2017, the two of them were meeting constantly. Family gatherings became just another opportunity to talk business, and cooking was always at the center of these events. Someone would pull out a tray of something, and instantly the room would light up. Sawyer, now thinking like an entrepreneur, noticed this. He thought, if I could bottle this feeling, people would pay anything for it. That thought stayed with him for days. He kept replaying it in his mind, and piece by piece, something started to click. Utah's religious culture meant many people avoided alcohol and other vices, but sweet treats, they were everywhere. That's when the idea hit him, immediately messaging Jason. You see, at the time, food delivery apps like Uber Eats were exploding, but you could really only order pizza or burgers. There were no dessert options. So Sawyer pitched the idea, a cookie delivery business. Jason saw the vision instantly, although for very different reasons. Sawyer saw a product people would obsess over. Jason saw a tech opportunity. To Jason, the cookie business could simply be a proof of concept. If it worked, he could package up the technology, sell the system, and finally scratch that entrepreneurial itch he'd had for years now. There was just one huge problem. Neither of them knew how to bake. It was always someone else making the food at family gatherings. Jason and Sawyer were just the guys that ate it. They had no choice but to teach themselves. They dove into researching immediately, tasting recipe after recipe, handing out cookies to every friend and family member they could find. Jason approached this like a real tech product, split testing ingredients, tracking what people liked and didn't. This went on for 5 months. Eventually, friends and family weren't enough. They needed brutal, honest feedback. So they started asking strangers, gas station workers, basically anyone that would try them. And all of this was happening without any commercial equipment, just the two of them stuck in their home kitchens for hours at a time. Progress felt painfully slow, but for whatever reason, they kept going, even eventually investing in commercial equipment, despite still not having a final recipe. And this only made things harder, because now they had to figure out how to recreate their home-baked cookies with completely new machines. During this time, Sawyer found an old, worn-down building in Utah. Most people would have walked straight past it, but he saw potential. This could be our first store, he thought. He got talking to the owner, who explained to him that if he didn't have a tenant soon, the building would get demolished. Straight away, Sawyer saw an opportunity. He negotiated rent down to just $800 a month with the freedom to walk away at any time, and excitedly called Jason to pitch the idea. Jason liked the idea in theory, but he reminded Sawyer that they were supposed to be a delivery business. Sawyer kept pushing. They needed a real kitchen. They couldn't keep destroying their home kitchens. This building could be both their store and their kitchen. Jason had no reason to argue, so he eventually agreed, but on one condition. Sawyer had to spend every single spare hour he had working on the building, while Jason focused entirely on the tech. Just like that, they secured their first location. However, the building was still falling apart. This only pushed their launch back even further. So instead of waiting around, Sawyer started filming the renovation and posting it online, creating a small buzz in Utah. People were genuinely excited to see what this mysterious cookie company would become. But there was still one huge problem. They still hadn't finished their cookie recipe. There were just so many options, different toppings. One person would love a flavor and the next would absolutely hate it. Eventually, they hit a breaking point. Enough guessing, enough debates. Instead of launching a huge menu, they were just going to launch one product. A simple chocolate chip cookie, and they would figure out the rest later. For the first time in this entire journey, things looked positive. Now it's fall 2017, and Sawyer was still posting just about every update he could about Crumbl. So far, the attention had only been a good thing, but it was about to backfire massively. A competitor saw the buzz that they were building, rushed their own cookie shop together, and launched 1 week before Crumbl was planned to. It was brutal, and there was nothing Jason or Sawyer could do. They just have to let their cookies speak for themselves and hope that people notice the difference. Finally, launch day arrived. Months of stress, money spent, and dedication came down to this moment. And they sold out on day one. This was mind-blowing. As the weeks went by, the menu grew, the hype grew. Pretty much every day they opened, they were selling out within hours. This sounds amazing until it becomes a massive problem. Selling out on day one is fun. Selling out every day, well, customers were driving across town only to leave empty-handed. It was starting to make their business look really bad. They needed a solution, and they needed it fast. They considered permanently limiting the menu. Maybe they'd expanded too fast. But Jason kept thinking, what if the problem wasn't how much they offered, but when they offered it? He came up with a simple yet genius idea. Just rotate the menu every week. By treating cookies almost like fashion drops, Crumbl instantly became a brand people really paid attention to. Before 2017 even ended, they opened up a second location, this one in a warehouse, built for handling the increasing demand for delivery. As 2018 kicked off, Sawyer's mum was even considering opening up a third location and investing in the company, but she underestimated just how much work this would actually be, and eventually backed out. Sawyer couldn't shake shake this guilty feeling. He knew how big Crumbl could become, and he hated the idea of his mum missing out. He discussed it with Jason, who understood the dilemma but was pretty torn. They didn't need any outside investment. He proposed a compromise. Maybe they could use her money for an experiment. They'd test out franchising. So, just a few months into 2018, they opened up Crumbl's third location and first ever franchise. This was a disaster. The store was performing well, but without Sawyer and Jason's hand-on involvement, there were bad reviews discussing a quality drop, long waits, and undercooked cookies. Plus, this was all funded by someone else's money. It made the whole thing incredibly stressful. So they took a step back. How were they supposed to teach employees that they'd likely never meet in person how to bake a cookie at the same high standard their customers expected, and make sure those employees actually kept up those standards? Well, with tech, of course. Jason built an internal app packed with step-by-step videos teaching the exact method for crafting the perfect Crumbl cookie. Shockingly, it worked. The more franchise employees they onboarded, the more patterns they spotted. If mistakes happened frequently, they'd just create new training content on how to fix it. Pretty soon, the franchise location went from a nightmare to basically generating free cash. So they opened up franchising opportunities to family and friends in Utah. These early store owners were patient and gave brutally honest feedback that helped Jason and Sawyer perfect the model before opening it up to the public. When they finally did that, it exploded, ending 2018 with 16 stores across America and just under $1 million in revenue. Just 1 year later, at the end of 2019, they had tripled their stores, 55 locations. So, what changed? Sawyer, having studied marketing, was constantly searching for new ways to promote Crumbl. In 2019, he stumbled on a brand new app where customers were already posting their free, positive reviews of Crumbl, and those posts were actually getting some good traction. So Sawyer made an account and started posting on TikTok. The more they posted, the more attention they got. The more attention they got, the more cookies they sold. This momentum carried them all the way into 2020, and when the pandemic hit, deliveries exploded. When the world opened up again, the demand for franchising went crazy. By the end of the year, they more than doubled their stores. A year later, they had over 300, and growth wasn't slowing down. By the end of 2022, Crumbl had generated nearly $1 billion in revenue across almost 700 stores. And another year later, in the first quarter of 2024, they crossed the elusive 1,000 stores milestone. What started as a small idea, just a way for Sawyer to learn and Jason to scratch his entrepreneurial itch, became a company worth over $2 billion.